Brought to you by Penguin.
The Finest Hotel in Kabul, A People's History of Afghanistan, written and read by Lyse Doucet. Preface. "How long will you be staying?" asked the man behind the black marble counter. I didn't know the answer. It was Christmas, 1988, the day after my 30th birthday, and the gloam of the Intercontinental Kabul was an unlikely place to be celebrating. The cavernous lobby, chilly, dark, stretched into forbidding corners, brightened only by a shiny blue and white banner promoting the Soviet airline Aeroflot. Most of the chandeliers, their dangling crystals hushed by dust, were dark. Only one glinted stoically above the reception desk. But the wooden grid of pigeonholes behind the front counter, packed with chunky metal keys, left little doubt. Almost no one else was staying here. Would it be 6 days? Or 6 weeks? I wrestled with all the forces that might keep me in this ghostly place, and all the ones that might not. An awkward pause pressed down upon me and the Afghan receptionist, his brown suit as gloomy as the lobby. He raised a quizzical eyebrow, and then he smiled, his welcome illuminating the room. I had just landed in Kabul for the first time. The spiraling descent into one of the world's highest capitals stuns its visitors into an awed silence. Sharp, undulating ridges of rock, puckered in folds of black, grey, and a rusty red, had given way to the sharp, snowy white peaks of the Hindu Kush. Far below, the lattice landscape of miniature mud houses was dotted with flat-roofed factories and dome palaces and mosques that loomed ever larger. It was no ordinary arrival. The aircraft had banked sharply in a breathtaking corkscrew maneuver, flares bursting outwards with white-hot fire. A way to divert any heat-seeking missiles blasting from mountain bunkers, the foxholes of the Western-funded rebel fighters known as the Mujahideen, who were locked in battle with the Soviet-backed government in Kabul. That winter, the harshest in more than a decade, Kabul was in the crosshairs of a Cold War conflict that was decades old. Afghanistan's unravelling had begun in 1973, 4 years after the Intercontinental Kabul's grand opening, when its mild-mannered King Zair Shah had been toppled by his cousin. The putsch soon tipped Afghanistan into a blood-soaked spiral. Another coup, 3 leaders assassinated one after the other, then the Soviet invasion over the Christmas of 1979, which sparked what would become the most grievous war in the world. I had travelled to the Afghan capital to report on the Red Army's pullout, following its disastrous decade-long occupation. As I departed from neighbouring Pakistan, where I had spent the past few months, one Mujahideen commander cheerily told me he would soon see me in Kabul, since their victory was now in sight. Another warned I would certainly be killed there. I had been nudged out of Pakistan by a competitive colleague, who had made it clear I should find a different patch. The kindness of strangers and friends had helped to secure me an escape route, a rare Afghan visa. The advice had been that there were really only 2 places to stay: the older, more conveniently located Kabul Hotel, smack in the centre, but with dubious communications and cuisine, and an even murkier history, and the Intercontinental, high on a hill on the edge of the city, but with better telephone and telex links and food worth eating, as well as a certain faded splendour. As the clapped-out yellow taxi chugged out of the airport in a fog of diesel fuel, I made a split-second decision. We headed for the hill. I soon discovered that hospitality is hardwired in Afghans. At the front desk, Sharif, with his sunbeam smile, and Salim.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?